Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Kryptocraft with your host, Nighthawk. I'm over here in our secret project area where I've been a bit busy. I'm going to give a bit of a preview of what this is going to be looking like, as well as some of the stuff that I have to do to make this work. I'm going to have to be a little bit careful. I didn't turn off a couple of the waypoints like I should have, but I can make sure I don't show those at any point. Anyway, what we've got is a great big huge array of rooms, and basically they are 5x5 rooms with a 3x3 door on each side. I haven't made the doors on the tops and bottoms of the rooms yet. This is actually still at the top floor, so kind of get an idea of what it looks like here. If we float down a little bit, you can see the walls are starting to take shape. Unfortunately, I brought a... sounds like there's a slime in here somewhere. I don't know where he is. I think this is a spot where slimes can spawn, unfortunately. And now I'm lost. Which side is this? Oh, I know where this is. I hear spiders, but I don't see them. Okay, so what I've been doing here is I'll set up the filler to build one row of these walls, and unfortunately it takes a... well, I guess it was expected to take a lot of cobblestone. I had brought over the expanded barrel of cobblestone in order to supply this project. Unfortunately, I was moving it to... I was moving it around so that I could keep it close to wherever I had the filler at the time, and one of the times I moved it, it basically, I guess, landed on a torch or something and broke. Let's see if I can do this without showing the waypoint that I'm concerned about. Basically, there's just one waypoint that I'm most concerned about that's on and close. But, yeah, so the barrel full of cobblestone that had about 30,000 cobblestone left in it turned into a craft packet maker. And, ooh, just about showed that a little bit too much. Yeah, it turned into a craft packet maker and destroyed the 30,000 cobble that was in it. And I was just moving it around with the portal gun. I've, moved it around with the portal gun before, but apparently I ended up setting it too close to a torch or something, and instead of turning back into the barrel like it should have, it turned into a craft packet maker. And so I set up an igneous extruder, which, let's see if we can get back to center without showing things. Hopefully that's not shown enough to where anyone would even know what that is. So, yeah, I've got an igneous extruder set up here. I actually filled it completely full of lava and water to see if that would make it go faster. Wow, it doesn't seem to. Doesn't seem to change the speed of it at all. But, yeah, it's pretty slow at making cobblestone. There's the craft packet maker that was a barrel full of cobblestone. I wonder... let's experiment here just because. I can't pick that up at all? Why can't I pick that up? That's a nuisance. So, yeah, unfortunately, the construction process has slowed down tremendously as a result. With the filler, I was getting the walls built out pretty quick. It's still time-consuming just because there are so many blocks that have to be placed by it, but it is taking shape. You can see the array is... the top floor, the array is... of rooms is built. I haven't built all of the surrounds for the doorways yet, And the other thing I think I'm going to do to make this easier to move around in is put stairs all the way around both the bottom and the top of each room, and that will also help to kind of trim it out a little bit. I might even put microblocks through microblock slabs in this corner to make that look kind of like stairs in the corners as well, just to kind of round out the whole room. But I think once this is done, and what I'll start with is I'll leave all these doorways open this way initially, and what will happen is or it will be manually built into the project initially, and then later on we will I'll add in some additional technology that will change the room configuration based on different pressure plates or locations that are found. So if you get to a certain spot, then it will open up a different path and basically make the whole thing adapt. I keep going too close to that spot. So yeah, there is that. So I guess for the purposes of this episode, I just kind of wanted to start by giving an update on where we were with our special project. It is coming along, and we are definitely making progress. And yeah, so look forward to seeing this in its full glory. I probably won't do the redecoration myself. I'll probably, once I introduce the whole thing to the other guys, I'll probably have them help out with some of the redecoration, or invite them to redecorate sectors of this whole thing. Also, in regards to that, for the bee question that I had, I did figure out how I can do that. So let's let these guys. So with the alvearies, or the apiaries as well, I think the easiest way to accomplish what I have in mind for those, which, given what you can see here, I think everybody can probably start to figure out what I have in mind for this. If not, let's just say it will be amazing. Regardless, with the apiaries, the whole purpose of them is to provide different buffs and debuffs in certain areas of this project. So if you go into a certain spot, then, or get to certain parts of this whole project, then you might get blindness, you might get speed boosts, you might get regeneration, which may have an effect or have an importance with other parts of it. So I have different things like that, and the easiest way that I have found for getting the queens in and out of the apiaries is to actually use routers, because the routers can be programmed to pull items out of any specific slot, as well as to put items into a specific slot. So what I did in Creative is I put, and I don't have the routers right now, or I would demonstrate this, I haven't had a chance to actually make them. I'm going to need a ton of them, I think. But basically I had an, let's grab a couple of different types of blocks here. let's say that there's my apiary. I put a router on each of these spots, and then I put a wooden pipe connecting them. So one of them pulls the bee out, and the wooden pipe has an autarchic gate on it that takes the bee from this router to the other router, and it will, once this one takes it out, it moves it over to the other router that will put it back in, and you can control them with redstone signal. If it has a redstone signal going into the router, then it suspends what it does, so it won't actually move the it won't put the bee back in until the redstone signal goes away. And by inverting the signal between the two routers, then I can have it so that they share between, or that they will. I can turn on the signal to put it in the apiary, and it turns on whatever that bee does, and then I'll also have a wooden pipe connected to the apiary that will take the bees and recycle them for whenever they die, that it will recycle the princess and drone back into the apiary, and whenever there are items produced, then it will recycle that. I think the only spot that I really have to watch for on that is if the bee is getting recycled when it's switched to pull the bee out, because then it might pull the bee out before it finishes the breeding to turn into a queen. So I might have to see if I can come up with a way to prevent that. And I may actually jump into creative and show kind of what I have in mind for that on this video as well. I think I will do that. That way, if somebody has an idea how to do that... let's see. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to head back to the main area, back to the main factory, and... Ooh. I'm going to head back to the main factory area, and maybe we'll pop over to Creative and take a look at that real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, so we are over in the Creative world, and this is kind of the basic setup that I have in mind for the bees in order to do what I have in mind. And you can see this one is set to insert into the top of the apiary, top of anything, but it's connected block, so, or connected machine. This one will extract from slot 0. Now in the apiary, this right here is slot 0. So while there's redstone signal going into this router, it can't extract the bee, and while there is no redstone signal on this one, it will do the insert. So basically with any sort of an RS latch or toggle latch of some kind, where we can set the signal on each side so that it's opposite. We could actually do this with a single signal and then just use a NOT gate to invert the signal going into this router, which will probably be the final configuration. This was just, well, I guess quicker to set up initially. But, yeah, so you can see we've got the effects from the bees there. And you, Mr. Sheep, need to go away. See what you made me do? You made me break it. Anyway, so you can see this works pretty well. There is a delay between pulling the bee out and when it's ready to go back in, but it's not too bad. I don't know if we could really make it any faster. It doesn't really need to be any faster, though, to be honest. It's not... I don't want these effects to be something that's turned on and off very rapidly. So if it takes 20 seconds or so to move the bee between the two routers. It actually only takes like 5 or 10, I think. Then that's not a big deal. So yeah, that part works. Now, while we're here, it occurred to me that we might be able to use routers to do another part of the work that I've been trying to figure out for automation purposes. So these inoculators, I haven't found a good way to automate them where I can have bees just go into it automatically and get inoculated and then move to the next slot. So if we go, let's change this to slot, well, I guess let's start on slot 0 and see what that means. That's not that slot. And I guess actually I need to make a serum that I can inoculate these guys with. Did I have anything for that? This will work. Oh, there we go. I don't really care about the quality. That is not part of the test here. So there's the serum. He's getting inoculated. Can't inoculate current bee. Oh, because that's a meadow serum. Okay, let's go drone. There we go. So he's going to get inoculated, and I don't know if it's going to end up in here immediately, but let's go through some of these other slots. Okay, slot 2 is this slot. We know that now. What is slot 3? I haven't found the slot that the serum is in yet. There's a lot of... Apparently, you can set this number to anything. Okay, so we do know that this is slot 2. So I wonder if that... I wonder what slot 0 is. I'm not sure how we can really tell. I made a bee disappear. I'm not sure. We might have to wait until he is inoculated, because we never found a slot that pulled the serum out either. I guess there's 6 slots here. There's 12, 13. Looks like there's 14 slots that things could be extracted from. But I don't see any other slots actually doing anything as far as I can tell, because once you hit the slot, it seems to be pretty much instant. So I'm going to let him do the inoculation thing, and we will try again with the router in just a moment to see if we can find which slot will pull out of this bottom section only. I have so many things I don't need. So I'll be right back. Okay, now our bee finished its inoculation, and you can see it has a minus sign. That's because this is an awful quality serum. Oh well, that doesn't really matter too much. This is not going to be a bee that ever gets used. But you can see this slot right here is considered slot 9. So I could set up routers on the hives and use those to get or not on the hives, on the inoculators, and use that to move bees between various inoculators. Now, what I wonder, what happens... Oh, I wonder if... I'm going to try something here. Insert ham. Does that put it over here? Oh, that must have been where that bee went. It must have been over here. So I could have one router for an entire bank of inoculators. Huh. Although, the only problem with that is if I want to have a chain of events, a chain of things that get inoculated onto a bee, then I couldn't have it just pull out of any of them unless I was going to manually put the bees back in the next one. I might have to think about that some. I'd have to do a bit of rearranging in the bee lab, but the inoculators only take power. They don't require a connection to the B&A tank. So I could do something that where they just had power behind them and use routers to build a chain of things. I'd have to have something that would extract. How did I end up with two of them? Okay, that's interesting. I only had one of those drones before. Oh well, not that it matters really, that's just kind of weird. I think that's a side effect of pushing things into the slot that they don't belong in. But yeah, so that's going to work. Again, this design is going to work very well for our special project. I'll have to make specific setup of bees, and it'll take a large number of these routers. And they're not too expensive. If we look at the recipe, some dark iron, some eye of ender, which is ender pearl plus blaze powder. I've got tons of it. The eggs would be the hardest thing to come by just because we don't really have a good chicken farm right now, but that's not too hard to come by. I can spin up the dark iron forge with a turtle to get that going again. And then here's the part that I'm still working on a good solution to. So if we take a pipe, find some cobblestone, and let's grab some of this. I need to clear out my inventory again before I work here too much more. And how about a void pipe? Okay, so, whoops. Let's go black, NEB, and white, anything else. And put an AutoCAD gate here. And we want items in inventory. So now let's switch the signal here. So it's going to extract from slot 0 as soon as there's something in there. So you can see it sucked up the princess. I guess the drones are still there. So maybe that isn't going to be a problem. Since it doesn't grab the drones as well, we should be okay, because what will happen now is if we switch this back to go, it's going to breed at that time. But that'll be okay. I'm okay with it taking a moment after the after it switches to turn on the buff, for the time for it to breed. So anyway, I think that's going to work nice. I think that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and look forward to seeing the results of our special project starting to show up really soon. We're getting pretty close to where we can start doing some cool things with it. I think I'm going to introduce everybody to it in a manual static configuration first. Possibly, probably with the some special places in it, but probably not the complete set of things that I have in mind for the complete system. There's some other stuff that still has to be worked out first, and we'll probably work on one of them in the next episode. In any case, again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a great night, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.